Hello there guys and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines offline mode with me, P-Siege. I know today is a bit of a special day, so I hope that wherever you are having one great happy day. But anyway, for this episode, we are gonna look at developing the transportation in the city with train stations, trams, and bus center. We're also laying out the proper infrastructure for this as well as the foundation for the future above ground metro station. This is gonna be, as of now, the longest episode and one that I also think would be one of the lengthiest in the series overall, and so I hope that you will enjoy this development in the city. Right off the bat, you see me layouting the transport hub up north of the first housing district where a train station, tram depot, bus stations, and taxi stops will be found. To be honest, initially before I started off with the game, I wasn't really planning to do a sort of a hub. I was just looking at placing a train station there, but as I realized that I haven't still placed other transportation means in the city, I got to thinking about building this hub that we are creating right now. Thankfully, I was in a bit of a creative high at the time, so it didn't take long for me to create a plan that went well and satisfied me in the end. And I really do hope that you'd be able to feel the same thing by the end of the build. Anyways, regarding the lines and line construction, I'm planning to do an additional sort of extra episode focused on placing those. I'll try to discuss why I decided to have the following routes as well as the importance of some stops, so I hope that you'll stay tuned to it in this channel. And before we get stuck on what's happening, let me share to you that Cities Skylines is actually on sale right now and can be played free thanks to Steam's Lunar event, which will last until the 16th. And I am thinking of buying some of the more important DLCs in my opinion in half price. These DLCs are Mass Transit, Industries, and Park Life, as I think they are the ones that would supplement my gameplay better. For me, and I think for everyone too, this is a great deal because we know how painful the Paradox DLC model can get. Anyhow, so what you're seeing me do for the past minute or so is laying out the tram tracks by upgrading some of the roads, and actually I did pre-plan in some areas, particularly up top, but there were decisions that I still had to make during the build. That one includes what you are seeing right now, where I am trying to create a separate tram track that will pass through the vicinity, but instead of that I decided that I'd just relocate the bike paths and lay out the tram tracks there and use this to create a station to link up with the schools. This relocation did not really change the fact that I did some bridge to cross the main alleyway entering the first housing district. I did not want to connect it directly to the street since it would cause more traffic, but this really made it clear that I had to demolish two houses across so that the bridge would be realized. After that, it was an easy upgrade of roads towards the transport hub. With the tram tracks done, I proceeded into designing the pathway at the hub, which connects the bus wings to the train and tram stations as well as the housing district. I put in a simple and a nature-oriented design with bits of detailing such as kiosks and benches to give the commuters an area where they can choose to rest a bit, enjoy some scenery, or grab some snacks. Aside from that, this is also a sort of this welcome to those who are visiting the city, as the station serves as the intercity train stop. After embellishing our transport hub and open up the taxi, bus, and tram depot, I immediately jump into putting up tracks connecting the train station into the main line. This map though peculiarly does not have a railway connection at the start, so I had to expand northwards from the housing district to be able to connect to the railway line. That costed me 2 tiles of the map and I had to change some of my plans. Anyways, the layout of the rail that you are seeing will actually be changed and you will see those as the episode progresses. And now we are at the Universidad District, which will have one of the train stops as well as the first above-ground metro station in the city. Creating this area took a lot of work, and the finished shown that you are gonna see in this clip was still edited by me off camera, as I realized that I could fit some of the tracks a little bit more, as you'd see later. But anyway, around this time, I decided that the area would be another public transport hub where office and business workers of the area could choose whether to use the railway, the metro line, and later on bus or tram. Creating this stuff actually fascinates me a lot because in our country, the sector of public transport have long been neglected. Railways in our region are actually barely running, and while we do have our trimobiles, jeepneys for local travels, and buses for those medium long trips, I still wish that the country can aim for other transport modes such as rail. Nevertheless, as you can see, maneuvering around the small spaces within the district was a little bit hard. I had to adjust the railway so that it could fit right into the area. I am also placing some extra tracks as the rail station is a mini hub for railways, and that is where they can undergo some repairs. I just really wish that I could place some details in and do a little bit of surface painting, but it is what it is. And at this point, I think you can already see the need for track adjustment, which I talked about earlier. Let me show you a picture after this of how it looks like after adjusting. As you can see, the adjustment gives more space to the right of the train station, which will allow for 4 tile spaces by the main road. And with that out of the way, let's talk more about the rail tracks. The initial rail tracks that I constructed that connected the transport hub up north to the University District was mostly elevated. However, I found that kind of stale, lazy, and also kind of unimaginative, and I felt that I could use some creativity at some sections of the track. Aside from that, I also thought and imagined about some sections of the rail being developed at an earlier sort of historical time, so I decided to put some on the ground. One of which is the section that passes through the main street going in and out of the first housing district. At first, it was a bit of a challenge going underground and terraforming since I'm still kinda used with the terraforming tools that the mods provide. And as you can see and will see as the video progresses, I struggled to get the right elevation around this area. But despite that, I didn't really want to give up on the plan because I really did think that it would look well in the area. Although some parts, particularly near the University District, has its tracks remaining above ground, I still wanted to continue with the plan, and after smoothing it out even more and reconstructing some parts, particularly this section that goes under the road, I was able to finally construct the bridge and subsequently put in some design and details in the area too. Laughably enough, I was thinking that I can play squares around this area as if I have mods while playing, but nonetheless I was quick to improvise, adapt, and eventually overcame this by using large stones as sort of the area's riprap. I also added some mossy details in the area to at least beautify it and show its bit of an old age. With the finishing of the change of railway tracks in some sectors, I proceeded into constructing the first metro station. It'll be the first stop of the light rail system in the city, although these things are actually really heavy, right? But anyway, it is sandwiched between the train station as well as the office and business spaces of the district. And as of now, I am creating a small endpoint, repair, and regular check stop for the metro. It is not any sort of a large hub because I'm actually planning to do one, but I imagine that this track can and will be useful for the said purposes. After that, I placed some trees around the area, first off by the track so that it's not just an open blank space without any details, and second, there are also some palm trees by the station to make it at least a bit more appealing. Meanwhile, in the front of the hub, I placed a small park to make the zone generally more attractive and accommodating to commuters who want a bit of respite from their workload or a place to wait it out and grab some food. By the way, before and during the construction of the public transport infrastructure, I was also expanding the residential zones in the city, particularly in the Universidad District, which is the reason why before and after the construction, the population grew by more than 3,000. Most of the zoning of the high residential district was done off camera, but in this clip, you can definitely see how large swaths of the vacant area in the city is being expanded to by the ever-growing residential areas of the city. The district will also eventually accommodate some office and commercial spaces, which you will see in the following episodes. And lastly, as we move away from the development of the first housing district, let's see the finishing up of the last few remaining zones developed during the build-up of the transportation hub. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope that you would also look forward to the next episode, which will be, of course, as promised, related to the transport lines. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming content.